Hi, it's Joy and today we're watching The Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 5, Gone with a Trace. This is the first episode of the final season of The Clone Wars and it is absolutely insane. Before I start, I do want to quickly clarify something, which is what order I should watch, what show I should watch next. Should it be Rebels or Bad Batch? Because I was originally going to go straight into the Rebels because it aired next, even if Bad Batch is, I think someone has said chronologically first, but I do really want to watch so which one of those do you recommend I watch first? Second of all, they've announced the Obi-Wan show is coming in May. I presume on May 4th, but in May. Can I watch that without having finished all of the shows? I will have finished the Clone Wars for sure by then. By May, I definitely will have finished the Clone Wars. I'm not entirely sure whether if I watch the Bad Batch, I may have just finished that one. I don't know if I'll have finished Rebels by then. But is that okay to watch? I know Boba Fett, it was like, yeah, that one will be safe to watch. Should I watch Obi-Wan when it comes out, or should I wait until I am up to date with all the animated shows? Or is there one of these shows I should be up to date with first? So can you just, those two things, which one you think I should watch first, whether it's Rebels or Bad Batch, and whether I should wait to watch Obi-Wan until I'm caught up with everything, or not. But yes, I am both excited and scared to jump into Season 7 of The Clone Wars because the time we have been waiting for is here. The bad stuff is truly going to start to happen, and yes, a reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction and all of my reactions on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance. The edited version 1 week in advance. It's cool. How have you been living, sweetheart? It's almost weird to see her just in sort of ordinary clothes. Oh, Ahsoka. Oh, she's 8. She's grown up so much. Oh, Ahsoka. Clearly she's not, you know, understandably rolling in money because she's got this dodgy old thing. Well done.
Who are you? I'm Trace.
Are you a friend to be? Or a foe?
Why are you helping me? Shouldn't I? Seemed like the right thing to do.
A lot of people turn their back.
Maybe this was a bad idea. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Sweetheart, you're trying to figure out where you're going. Everything about who she was has been ripped away. One day you're gonna meet the cutest little sunshine in the world. Every world ever.
So, where do you come from anyway?
Long story.
Sure you have your problems up there with the Jedi running around, starting wars.
Ooh.
They've seen everything. They've forgotten all about us. What do you mean?
There are flaws in the Jedi, Ahsoka knows it well.
You hear stories. We'll get away from the Jedi. This war.
Well, don't worry, the Jedi don't have long left.
Back off if I were you.
Oof.
Stay out of this.
She's not used to being a bystander. She's used to being someone that could step in.
I got it.
Oh god.
On second thought, some help would be great.
But I like Ahsoka, she waited to be asked. She's a handy girl to have around.
My older brother taught me. Maybe you can teach me
Oh.
something. Come on. Rafa, does that belong to you?
Not yet. What did I teach you? We can't count on anyone, so we count on ourselves. I know.
It's a hard life when you don't have anything and there are no opportunities for you.
May not look like a droid factory, but that's to throw off the authorities. My associate does assembly in the back.
Who's your associate?
You.
Don't worry about that yet. Trace. Feel like building some droids?
Yeah.
I do know this type of droid.
Oh god.
Good thing we put the restraining bolts on.
Oh.
The bolt!
You did not put the restraining bolts on. This is going wonderfully.
That's my droid! Where is it going?
It's a test run. Nothing to worry about.
This isn't funny, Trace!
So good. At least it's not being particularly violent, it's just running. Or maybe now that's going to change. It's just making a bid for freedom.
Right? Where's Trace?
Working on it.
Oh, Trace! We're going to owe more credits than we were paid for this thing!
Stop. Stop. It's really close.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have arranged this before checking that we were ready for it.
See? Nothing to it.
Hurry up, please.
Take the controls.
Ahsoka is much more equipped to doing this. She could probably do it with the Force, let's be honest. Oh, isn't that lucky? It bumped the blue button against the wall when it was climbing. Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, no.
Come on, Ahsoka.
Here you go. All good.
Oh, every time she expresses being pleased that something is working, it goes wrong. Oof.
Trace?
Hmm.
We have
Is
it all under control.
she aware that she's a Jedi now?
Discussion. We all know.
That you're new here.
You seem to be the one that gets to make all the decisions, and even when they go wrong,
Do the right thing.
Come on, Ahsoka.
she's not smart though. I mean, she's kind of a smart in terms of me and my family, we are going to survive.
We don't build them. Somebody else would. I don't give them back. That's more trouble for the
It's
Marquez
true.
sisters. Rafa, I
But it's-
used the credits to pay.
You're not sticking around? I think it's for the best.
Morally, she doesn't
Hey,
align with this. It's hard though, because they are just trying to survive, and
thanks. Now let's get that speeder working. Come on.
take your tray somewhere. It's only good etiquette. Ahsoka is back. I'm so happy to see her, even though I'm still already sad that she's lost everything, but she was gonna lose it anyway, so maybe it's good that she's starting to build her way back up all over again. And I can't even imagine what she's going through, the idea of losing everything. And, at least when any other Jedi survivors lose everything, they kind of, it's different because what they had is gone. Whereas for her, what she had isn't what she thought it was, and that hurts even more. But to see her be so resilient and strong, and she survived this far, and yeah, she's ended up buying a crappy speeder and it doesn't work properly, but she's resourceful, she gets going. Her good-natured kindness radiates out of her, it inspires it in others. She's able to sort of find good people and help them, and they help her. I'm glad we're seeing her. I wasn't sure if we would. I kind of felt like we had to see her again at some point, because obviously she's getting her own show, and in The Mandalorian, when we saw her, she had a mission that I presume was set up in something we're going to see here, but I'm really glad that we're seeing her again. I liked Trace and her sister, her sister was morally dubious, but I think when you've grown up and your life is trying to survive and trying to keep yourself and your family safe, you do have a different ethical line, and it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, it doesn't mean I agree with it, but it is different than it is for someone who has grown up It's weird because Ahsoka has been a frontline soldier in a war since she was very young, but at the same time, her entire life, she's never really wanted for things. She's never had to feel... obviously she's been on missions where she's been scared or maybe not had food, but for the most part, her day-to-day life, she's known she's part of something, and this is the first time she's experiencing what it's like to not have that every second of every day. She is figuring out who she is and how she fits in. It was really interesting to hear Trace talk about the Jedi and how they don't care about the rest of us. They just care about their war, and there very much is that they're on the top side and they're fighting this war, and the war is so important while everyone else is struggling to survive. And you can say that about a lot about the real world. Politicians don't have a clue about the poorer people, but even there are so many people who might think they're doing good and they have good aims, but they forget who they're doing it for and why they're doing it. And it's one thing to win the war, but if the people you're fighting for die of hunger or gang violence or whatever else is going on in these streets, is it worth it at the end of the day? I think the Jedi have lost a little bit of their way, we've already established that they've become too focused on the war. I'm so proud of Ahsoka, seeing how she survives. You know, it makes me sad to think that she's kind of in a place where she doesn't even want to admit, oh, I was a Jedi. I suppose to an extent, she feels like either there might be people that hate Jedi, so therefore it's like, oh my god, you're a Jedi, fuck off. Or it could be people that look up to the Jedi and then I think, oh, they kicked you out, you're not a Jedi, you walked away, you're clearly not someone we should associate with. It's kind of, you'd have to really get to know someone before you could trust them, and then she's lied to them. I don't know. I have a feeling we're going to see more of Trace and Rafa, even if it's just like an arc. I don't necessarily think they'll be like main characters, maybe, who knows. Just because they got such an introduction in this episode, and Ahsoka's still with them finishing the speeder, but for all I know, the next one she'll be off doing something totally different, or we won't see her for 3 weeks. 3 weeks worth of me watching. No, this was a brilliant episode just because I got to see Ahsoka, and yeah, this aired so many years later for people that watched it when it came out. It's crazy. I definitely think you can see the way the animation style has improved since the original Clone Wars, especially since what I just watched with the unfinished episodes. But I also think they kept it true to the style of what they had been as well. So I really, really enjoyed this episode. In a lot of ways, it was a nice change of pace from kind of a lot of the other ones we've had with the war and the Clone Wars and the Jedi issues. It's sad to think that Ahsoka kind of resists using her powers when she had the Force, sorry, when there are times when she could use it, but obviously it's for her own safety and she doesn't want to draw too much attention from people who either would look up at the Jedi too much or look down on them too much. This was a brilliant episode, a good first episode to season 7. I cannot believe I'm actually here. I'm watching the Clone Wars for over a year now. Whoa. Time flies when you're having fun. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and thank you so much for watching.